webinar right now. Right. So, the life of a residential advisor, SRA student Olivia from San Diego State. Let's get into it. So, what is a resident advisor? I'm just going to briefly go over what that is. A resident advisor or RA is someone who lives in the dorms or resident hall just like you would be if you were a college freshman. But they are usually second years and above, and they are there to basically mediate disagreements, enforce rules, and again, for the most part, provide general support for students in their first year of college. Olivia, would you like to add anything as to what an RA is?
That pretty much covers it.
Ooh, I want to make sure to ask the pro here what RA is. So a lot of things, when people think of RA or resident advisor, a lot of, at least my friends, the first thing they think about is, oh, the benefits. You get free housing and free meals and stuff. Like, that's really cool about being an RA. And that is cool, but we're going to talk a bit more about what other things you can benefit from for being an RA. But, Olivia, if you would like to just expand a bit more on what the benefits are of being an RA, that would be great.
So there are so many benefits of being an RA, but the main ones are the financial compensation and the emotional fulfillment. So like with financial compensation, I get free housing and free meal plan, which ends up being around $16,000. And on top of that, I get paid for the hours that I work at the desk. And then with emotional fulfillment, it's like building relationships with the residents, helping them feel comfortable in a new, scary environment, such as like college your freshman year. And then seeing the growth that they have throughout the year, it just makes me feel like everything I do, like in my everyday job, is so worth it. And it actually like makes an impact on their experience.
So going back to the saving, you saved $16,000?
Yeah, I saved $16,000, and then I get a paycheck every month as well on top of that.
A lot of people don't really think about the amount that they're saving, so that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Going back to the fulfilling experience, have you, in your time being an RA, have you seen a time that you've impacted a student and what that felt like for you?
Yeah, so I remember like pretty recently I was at an event for one of the organizations that I'm part of on campus. And one of my residents texted me saying that she missed me, even though I saw her like 2 hours before and was like hanging out with her. And she went on to say that like I was the only person that she feels like she actually like connects to and has a genuine friendship with. And it just moves me so much because she would feel alone without me. And knowing that means the world to me because I became an RA partially because I wanted to help residents make SDSU feel like their home, you know, like I was extremely homesick when I came here and my RA did that for me and I wanted to be that person for other people.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. So now we've talked about the benefits and what an RA is. Should you become an RA? And these are just some of the questions that are pretty important to think about if you're wanting to become an RA. So if you like helping others and creating a sense of community, or if you like working with other students and building relationships, and if you love your school, I think these are really important questions to ask yourself because these are all crucial aspects of being an RA. If I'm not mistaken, Olivia.
No, absolutely correct. Spot on.
So again, if this is something that you're interested in, if you like working with students and building community, if you love your school and you love sharing the resources that the school provides for you, then this might be something you might want to get into in your years of college. Because being an RA, I think, right into trying to, after college, there's a lot of wanting to get internships, wanting to get a job. But I feel like being an RA, you get a lot of good skills, a lot of team working skills, and a lot of relationship building skills that you'll need in the workforce. And so if you are interested in doing that, you can get those experiences and get those skills now on college. But what skills are needed, Olivia, in order to be an RA?
Okay, so the 3 things that you can see are being approachable, being open-minded, and being creative. So you need to be approachable so your residents feel comfortable coming to you for help instead of being scared to talk to you because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble or something. So that also leads into the next skill of being open-minded. So that's like an individual who's accepting of everyone and anyone, because you want to create a community within your hall and like within the school as a whole, and making sure that everyone knows that they're welcome here and they belong here no matter where they come from or what they believe in. And then last but not least, you should be creative, because you have to come up with these programs. There's so many different like categories that I have to do. They're called Life 101s. So it could be like about alcohol awareness or something like health and fitness. And you want as many residents to come as possible so you can get that message out there. So you need to be creative with the way you advertise, what you come up with. And then you also make one bulletin board every month. And I want people to actually read them. You know, I'm putting like so much work into it, so I have to be creative with the way I do it. And my method personally is I use like puns everywhere. And then my residents are always like, oh my gosh, your bulletin board's so funny.
Awesome. See, I think a lot of people don't think about all the creative aspects that come into being an RA, like making those events and ensuring that students will come and gather and build community. That's something that I'm very, very happy that you put on this PowerPoint, and you included in the presentation. Because
Thank
it's
you.
not just about enforcing rules and making sure students don't go crazy and all that jazz. It's about also being creative and creating a sense of community and a safe space as well. So thank you for that. Now that we talked about all of that, if you're wanting to apply to be an RA, these are just like general steps that when I was thinking about being an RA, and ultimately I did not once I was in college. But these are the kind of steps that I went through in being an RA. And just knowing to fill out the application, and that you have to prepare for certain interviews, whether that be individual one or group one. But Olivia, if you want to get into more detail of what the application might entail.
So for SDSU, everyone fills out an online application that is both about like your GPA, it has your resume, you as a person, you as a student, and then also asks you questions that like you may encounter as an RA. So it gives you a scenario, and you have to answer it in a way that you think an RA should without having any training. So that's a little tricky. And then the board views they see all of the applications, and then everyone gets an individual and a group interview as long as you meet the GPA and a few other requirements. So for my school, it was an individual interview with a senior staff, which is like a senior RA, which is they could be a junior, but usually they're a senior. And then someone like a residence hall coordinator, which is on the exec board of REO. And they ask you questions about why you want to do this, you as a person, and then the next day is a group interview, and they give you a bunch of tasks to evaluate whether or not you would be fit for the position.
Oh, awesome. Well, these are basically the ways in which I would go about any RA interview. It might differ depending on what school you're at, but overall, preparing yourself for those interview questions, I think, is a great way to ensure that you have a very successful interview. These are just some of the tips that I've provided for any interview that you have in the future, whether that be for an RA position or for an internship or things like that. Always dressing appropriately. It's best to kind of dress up when you're going to interview. So yeah, an RA position, you're most likely going to be like in your typical college attire, but when you're going to an actual interview, maybe dressing business casual or just very professional. Again, showing that you are really ready and prepared for that interview. Bringing extra copies of your resume for those that maybe did not initially see your resume during the application process. And then again, practicing for those common interview questions. And I'm going to just show you all where you can find awesome interview preparation resources on our hub. So I'm going to show you all how to get there. So if you just go to sracollegecareers.org, these are for people who have the hub. And if you don't have the hub, you can sign up today. Just go to that website and then you can log in. And then you will go to our resources here. And then you will type in interview. There we go, interview prep. So I typed it in earlier today. And we have a whole lot of interview resources, so interview tips and tricks. We also have lesson plans, but again, it's more so for teachers and whatnot. But we have interview preparation articles. And here we have just like the general questions that most interviewers will be asking you. So the traditional questions, tell me about yourself, why you're interested, things like that. And then also the behavioral interview questions that I'm assuming, Olivia, did you get these kind of questions when you were doing the group interview?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and these are the ones that are like really, really important to prepare for because they are trying to see and trying to gauge what you will be like on the spot with certain situations.
They also want to see like what you have over another candidate because being an RA, it's such a desired position and so many people apply. So it's like very competitive and they want to select the best candidates that they can.
So definitely check this out. If you have an SRA Hub account, I would just for sure type in interview prep if you're going to go into an interview of any sort and just check these out. We have this article, we have videos, and links out to other resources as well. So that's my last little plug of the SRA Hub, but yes, check it out. All right, let's go back to the presentation. All right, so now finding the balance. As a resident advisor, you're going to be going to school. You're also still going to be a resident advisor, and you also still have a social life. So, Olivia, how did you tackle school life and making sure you found the balance with that?
So a big part of being an RA is being a role model and practicing what you preach in the residence hall. So I do my homework in the lounge, like where I'm visible with my residents. So it's like I'm being productive and then I'm motivating them, and then it's just like we're being positive influences on each other. So that is like a really key factor. It's just being visible and being a good role model. I also use my planner and my calendar so much to keep track of deadlines and manage my time to complete like all of my tasks like efficiently and effectively. And then another aspect that is really important about like for me personally is like making time to study outside of the residence hall because I'm here so often and I live where I work. So I study at Starbucks with my friends, and like that's usually where we go to like hang out and just like de-stress, or I go to the gym and then I just like procrastinate a little bit.
We're all human, it's all good. Awesome. And so work time, when you are planning those events and things like that, how do you manage that along with school and life?
So we have set deadlines that we have to submit our program proposals in by. So I've known since the summer when my programs for January are due. So they give us like so much time to figure it out, and you coordinate with your coworkers as well. So you're not always doing a program by yourself. So you always have people there to help you, and having the deadlines beforehand really helps like manage my time.
And I know this is something that I didn't really know about until I was actually like trying to interview for the RE position, but what the on-call days look like?
Yeah, so when I'm on duty, that means that I have to be in the building from 7 p.m. that night until 7 a.m. the next morning. And I have a duty phone where whenever it rings, I have to report for duty no matter what time. Even if I'm in the shower, I gotta like go and report for duty. And I have to handle any incidents that may occur within that time period. And then after that time period, someone else will be on duty. And I'm only on duty once every other week.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you're always on
duty. No.
It's really good to know for students who are just like, I need my own life too, but it's nice that they schedule out in a nice way for you to still get your things done.
Yeah, and it's also consistent, which I appreciate it so much. So like I'm on duty every other Tuesday. It's not like a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday. It's just every other Tuesday.
And how does that look for like holidays or for Christmas break and things like that? How does that work?
So my residence hall is actually over break housing as well. So I chose to take some duty days to like split it evenly among my team. And they compensate us for that as well, since there isn't like dining halls or anything open during that time. So they give us $50 gift cards every day that we are on duty over break to our location of choice, and that's how we get food. And then we also get paid more for our hours that we work at the desk over break.
That's really great. I mean, again, that's just your school. So for any students that are listening in, again, this is just her school that does that, but I'm sure that the school will provide some type of compensation if you do choose to stay over the holidays, or if the school even allows you. And last but not least, in terms of your social life, so how do you balance being an RA, being there for the students, still being a student yourself, and also practicing self-care and all that jazz?
Yeah, so I make time to schedule time. I make sure to make time to schedule. I make time for myself. So with that, it might seem like a chore to other people, but like what I really like doing in my free time is going to the gym and just like being active and relieving that stress and just like staying level-headed in a stressful situation by, you know, getting those endorphins from exercising. And then a lot of my friends live off campus in houses and apartments. So I like to go there to just like visit them and make time for each other, because it's really hard when you're not like across the hall anymore. So that was the biggest challenge for me. And then I also like going to the sporting events. So that's really fun. They're like almost every weekend, to be honest. And it's just like a way for all of my friends to get together in one location and just like spend time with each other.
Was there ever a time, especially like in the beginning, where you kind of felt kind of overwhelmed, and like how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, in the beginning of the year, you definitely have a lot more RA duties than like I do now, because it's welcome week and you want to make sure that everyone like feels that they belong and that they can meet people, and you want to make sure that you're community building and you're doing all your, like you're fulfilling all your like responsibilities. So I felt so overwhelmed at the beginning of the year, and I was like, I can't handle this. It's too much. And then like right now it's just like so calm, and it's just like a routine, and I'm used to it, and I don't have as many responsibilities, and I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. So it's definitely a cycle, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right. Well, that is like the majority of our webinar, what we got through. Now I'm going to launch the post-poll question, so you all can still, for those students that are registered for the Zoom webinar, you all can get credit for this. But if there's any questions, I think we did see some questions. Was there a question? Did you answer it?
There was a question about how long it would last, but
Absolutely fine. The last 30 minutes. I will launch the post-poll questions, so those students that are here for credit can get credit for it. So launch that, and awesome. I'm just gonna put that down there. Yeah, no questions. Everyone's in the know about what it means to be an RA. Are there any lasting pieces of advice that you would like to give, Olivia, for students who want to be an RA?
I would say if you want it and you're nervous about it, just go for it. Like any shot that you don't you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I think you just have to go for it. And if you need advice, you can feel free to contact me. I'm 100% open to like help you in like any way that I can.
And is there, again, and you can also email me, and then I can give those questions to Olivia. I don't want you all to have her email. So you can email me at cashley@studentsrisingabove.org. And any questions you may have, I will relay that to Olivia, because she is the RA expert. Let me go on to the Facebook page to see if there's any questions that we may have missed from the webinar.
There is one.
Oh, it's Kendall. She's just saying, thanks for sharing. That's awesome. Oh, she does have one. What was training like, and do you have regular check-in? Well, so you talked about training. Actually, no, did you talk about training?
I did not.
Yeah, let's get into that.
There is one. So training was 2 weeks before move-in day for freshmen, and we had presentations from all sorts of different organizations. Like we had some from the Pride Center, the Women's Resource Center, the police officers on campus to talk about like safety and everything that you may encounter as an RA. And they literally give you everything you could encounter in those 2 weeks. So it's like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Either you're in those like little sessions, or you're working on your bulletin board, or you're like bonding with your new staff. It's like, it's pretty fun, and it's jam-packed.
That's great. You felt prepared by the beginning of the school year, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think your second question was, how many check-ins do you, I know you briefly said it, but how many check-ins do you have throughout the week or throughout the year, things like that?
I don't have like a quota, because I typically check in with all of my residents every day. I try to just like, I'm their RA, but I'm also their friend. So I check in with them just the way that I check in with my best friends that I met last year.
And I guess a really important question. This job has been so great. Are you trying to be an RA next year?
I am 100% going to reapply. I want to do this again.
Great. Well, I'm so thankful that you were here tonight, talk about your experiences. I'm so happy so many people were on and like actually asked, or at least we had some questions and things like that.
Oh, we do have a question.
Yeah. Do you think becoming an RA or joining another extracurricular sorority is possible, or does becoming an RA take up all of your time?
So I do have friends that are also in Greek life. I'm not personally in it, but I think it depends on the person. I feel so fulfilled by being an RA and being in the other organizations on campus that I'm in, that I don't really like have a desire to be in Greek life, but that's just me. I don't know. It depends on the person.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to apply for the position and knowing that you were already in another org, would that hinder your abilities to be, like, would they say like, oh, sorry, you can't be an RA?
No. I think ARIA really wants people to be involved, and they want you to like impact the campus in a positive way. So being involved is looked very highly upon.
So it's just about basically you taking that balance of how you can handle it all, for the most part.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I think, all right, we have one more minute for those that are here for credit. And then after that, you are all free to go, especially if you answered the post-poll questions. I don't think we have any more questions for the Facebook post. Let me just double check really fast. For credit. And then after that, that's my voice. Nope, and that's it. All right, cool. So again, thank you all for joining in, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. And again, thank you so much, Olivia, for taking the time out of your evening. I know you got to study and do all that jazz. So,
thank you, SRA, for letting me do this. I'd love to get the information out.
Pay it forward. Let's go. Well, everyone, have a great night, and see you on the hub somewhere. Bye. Bye, Olivia.
Bye.